Welcome to the Local Marketing Source Weekly Update, brought to you by localmarketingsource.com.
This week's Local Marketing Update is brought to you by Scott Gallagher. Scott is the co-founder of Local Marketing Source and has become the recognized expert in providing online marketing services to local businesses. Follow Scott on Twitter at ScottGallagher5 and on Facebook.com/Scott P. Gallagher.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Scott Gallagher here with Local Marketing Source, bringing you our weekly local marketing industry update. Now, next week's LMS member call is going to be Wednesday, June 7th at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Got a couple of different things to talk about today, but first off, before we get into those, I just want to say I had the opportunity today to be on the Rhino Daily podcast. It is a podcast run by Steve Cypress. He is out of Arizona, and it is a podcast that's got quite a bit of listeners, and it goes out to the small business ownership community. So you may want to check that out. We've got 4 different episodes that I was interviewed for. A lot of fun. It's kind of interesting and reminded me that, what we do, it's not really rocket science, but it's really confusing to a lot of people. And it reminds me, I work with a lot of small business owners, different doctors predominantly, and these are people that have, we view them as pretty educated, pretty smart individuals, and it's kind of amazing when you see the deer in the headlight look and their eyes glaze over as to what we're talking about here. And, SEO, it doesn't have to be something that's complicated. I know that I'm not anybody special, or any of my students aren't anybody special, but when that light bulb goes on, it's like a sigh of relief. And everything that we do for SEO, in order to actually get results, folks, yes, we're fighting against a behemoth called Google. Yes, we're fighting against their secret sauce that nobody knows about. And yes, we're fighting for in a $63 billion industry for our share of that revenue. There's a lot that we are fighting for. But it doesn't have to be complicated, and it's amazing how our industry has complicated it when we just look at the basic definition of marketing about creating content and getting it out there, and creating that content for the who, what, when, where, why, how. That's marketing. And that's why we broke it into the 3 pillars. And those 3 pillars adhere to creating content that has value and distributing that content to an audience that it's gonna resonate with. So if you don't fully comprehend what those 3 pillars are, and if you're listening to this, make sure you have an understanding and what the differences are. The easiest way to remember those, if you don't know what they are, is think of what CPR is. CPR, citations, profiles, and reviews are your 3 pillars. And when we talk about those 3 pillars, first off, reviews, in a nutshell, they're just a digital form of word-of-mouth marketing. Do not solicit reviews. And good marketers, your job is to find the hero customers of any business that's out there and create case studies and leverage the stories and experiences of those hero customers. So every small business should have a review acquisition program in place. We call it our RAP system, review acquisition program. Make sure you understand that. But do not solicit reviews. Do not ask for reviews. Don't give incentives for reviews. You're only going to hurt your business in the long run. Number 2, profiles. You see, our industry labels citations as one big label. I have taken that citation label and broke it into citations and profiles. And what has happened is most of our industry has taken what I call profiles and said, well, that's just citations and that's it. They forget about the citations I'm going to talk about that have the real value to it. So profiles, these are all the websites that are out there that can have a business listed on there. It's some sort of directory. You've got local directories, you've got general directories, and you've got theme-related directories that you want to be focusing in on. Let's face it. If you're getting the top dogs out there every month and you're getting 10 to 15 of the month, you're doing good. For profiles, make sure your profiles are filled out to 100%. Make sure you've got all your categories filled out. Make sure in the description you are putting in your core terms as well as your core modifiers, which for doctors, it works out the symptoms and conditions that they adhere to. You've got pictures of both outside the business, inside the business, and the business management that may be involved, perhaps the doctor. And then number 3, the third pillar is citations. And all citation is a, on the internet for SEO is a web reference of a business. And so, good marketing is about creating good material that's going to resonate with your prospective audience and make sure that that material is in front of your audience. It's all that marketing is. That's all you should be doing with acquiring good citations. In other words, getting press releases in local publications or in theme-related publications, getting blog posts in local blogs or theme-related blogs, getting articles, same 2 spots. You notice the 2 distribution channels are local channels and industry-related channels. We call it theme channels. And so a good citation may be a press release in the local newspaper. It may be an article in an industry magazine. Those are 2 gold pieces and easy to get content into. And mark my words, hardly anybody is doing any of that stuff. So it was nice to have a conversation with Steve on the podcast. It gave me a quick reminder of, they're 10 minutes a piece. So I had to get through some of this stuff in 10 minutes. And how do you simplify the 3 pillars? Well, I think I was just able to do it at this point in time. And that's all it is. That's the secret to SEO. I had a meeting with a premium student this morning. Thought I'd share this with you. They hit their 6-month anniversary with a client. And we met a month ago, and he's getting frustrated. He's like, Scott, can you look at my stuff? And I started to look at some stuff, and there was some real anomalies going on in the ranking reports. He definitely, after 4.5 months was not achieving the results of where he thought he should have been after 4.5 months and was getting really, really worried. So we looked at this, and, there was some very basic but major things that needed to be corrected, such as a duplicate listing. But the other factor is like, let's face it, you can't make a change today and get results. That's why we say it takes, up to 6 months. The fact of the matter is I've had clients in the past that it does take longer. It's just the nature of it. We don't have control of it. We just know that as long as we're paddling upstream, as long as we keep paddling, and as long as we're doing the right things, getting the right marketing things, not the right quote unquote SEO things, the right marketing things, that we're going to do all right. And here we are. He ran his reports and he practically choked. One keyword in the last 30 days jumped up from plus 51 up to number 1. He had multiple number 1 listings in the last 30 days. That 6-month window is very, very evident in local. When this client wasn't even on the maps 6 months ago, and now they're ranking number 1 for a lot of their condition and symptom-based keywords. They're number 4 for their core term. Fantastic results. So have faith in the system of knowing that focusing on those 3 pillars is where you've got to be. So today I wanted to do a little bit of an update. Google local image spam we're going to talk about, and how Google has set themselves up most likely to be spammed and pissed business owners off around the country pretty quickly. And number 2, Google has come out and said that page speed rank is a factor to use on mobile websites, and it's going to become more important in upcoming updates. Well, surprise, surprise. With the growth of bandwidth and data and all this stuff, that's becoming more of an important issue to businesses. So going back to the first topic here, Google local image photo. What they do is in the Google local image business photos, they are letting, on the photo itself, they're letting you link anywhere you want but your own website. Can somebody explain the logic to me for this? So Google is giving business owners control of which images they get to show. And they've made a lot of changes in the past with image control and done so without communicating to us, the general public. So I don't quite understand where and why Google is doing this and allowing us to link anywhere but our own particular website that we have control over. It's possible if you've got a second website, you know, that's could be able to give some authority to it, but it just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to be watching this. I think we're going to be seeing changes to that. Maybe Google's just doing some tests and we're in the middle of it right now, but I thought I'd share some of this. Now, Google has come out, Gary Ellis from Google, he said this at the Search Marketing Summit yesterday in Sydney, that Google is going to be updating the page speed rank factor to specifically look at the page speed of mobile pages when it comes to the mobile-friendly algorithm. So if you are ranking better on maps and not as well on Google Mobile, and even though you have a mobile compliant website, start looking at page speed as a factor. Optimize your web pages to load quicker, and the biggest element that is often overlooked is the image itself and the size of that image. You want it to be loading, you know, much less than a second. I believe that Google has websites out there. I'm going to check a tool. Google Mobile. Well, let's just do, yeah, here we go. Just do a search for Google Mobile tool, and then you're going to find the Google Mobile friendly test, and you can put in a domain name. And I haven't used this one for a while. So I'm just running a quick little test here, and if this is the test, they should be able to tell you how quickly the page loads up. We look at all this data inside of Bright Local when we run a report. It's called the SEO Checkup Report, I believe, and it tells me specifically how quickly each page loads. And if it's more than 1 second, then you know we're getting in there and trying to cut out code or cut something out. So we're at 88%. Let's see what's running here. He's just getting a little tired. Been a long day over here at One Marketing and Local Marketing Source. 94%. So in a moment, I will open the floor to any questions that any of you may have. We got on the line. I've got a relatively light audience today, but that's all right. Sometimes we're later than that. And yeah, so yeah, they don't tell you the actual page speed on the Google tool. That's too bad. But you can use the Bright Local tool. So, all right, I'll be back in 30 seconds, guys, and answer any questions that you might have.
Well, thanks for watching the Local Marketing Industry Update. We've got these things coming out every single week, so if you liked with what you heard, just click the button right above me right here to subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to get a little bit more, right over here, go check out localmarketingsource.com. We've got free reports that you can grab. You can even register for a free marketing course to get in and see the portal. Or just go ahead and follow us on some of the social channels. We'll be around. Until next time.